this is something that I came across on there was actually an interview on the Vanguard. Shout out to Gavin and Zach from the Vanguard on YouTube. Check out their channel, Fellow Leftist Podcast. So they interviewed a candidate for county sheriff in New Hampshire, and they recently won the GOP nomination. So Aria Dimezzo is a transgender Satanist anarchist who won the GOP nomination for county sheriff. And I thought that it was a really interesting story because of now, realistically, there's a 5-term Democratic incumbent that she's going to face off against in November. And it would appear that based on that's a safe seat for the incumbent. So not terribly likely to win, but I do think that her story is still important because of sort of what she's noted in here, honestly. So let's take a look at that. And this is an article from Pink News. Transgender Satanist anarchist wins Republican county sheriff nomination on a fuck the police platform. So this is an article by Lily Wakefield in Pink News from September 18th. And there's Aria Dimezzo here. And she has secured the nomination for county sheriff in New Hampshire. Aria Dimezzo was shocked when she won the GOP primary for county sheriff in Cheshire County, New Hampshire, with thousands of Republican votes. Dimezzo, founder of the Reformed Satanic Church, previously ran for county sheriff in 2018 as a libertarian candidate. But when she found out that the previous Republican nominee was no longer running, she joined the Republican Party with 2 days to spare before the candidate deadline. Explaining her surprising victory in a blog post, Dimezzo wrote, I went into it expecting that I would lose the primary to a write-in candidate because I didn't think that so many voters were just completely and totally oblivious about who they are voting for. Because the fact is that you didn't bother. You trusted the system. You trusted the establishment. You trusted the party. You felt safe. You were sure that there must be some mechanisms in place to prevent from occurring exactly what just occurred. Your anger is misplaced if you direct it at me. Please listen. Your anger is with the system that has lied to you. Your anger is with the system that convinced you to believe in it, trust in it, and have faith in it when it is completely and utterly broken. More than 4,000 people went into the voting booth on September 8th this week, and they all filled in the circle by my name, despite knowing absolutely nothing about the person they were nominating to the most powerful law enforcement position in the county. That's a level of recklessness of which any decent human being should be ashamed. You can see some of her campaign signs here. Aria Dimezzo for sheriff. That's the F the police sign there. Transition to freedom. Disarm the police. I love that because that's something that I strongly advocate for, disarming the police. Like, we need to have a first responder unit of our peace officers who don't show up with guns. You can take away their guns, and 90% of the officers in the UK do not carry guns on them. So it's absurd to think that it has to be this way. She added, I'm running for sheriff because I oppose that very system, and the sheriff has the most hands-on ability in Cheshire County to oppose that system. The system that let you down by allowing me, and she says, this is a quote from her, so quote, the system that let you down by allowing me, the freaking transsexual Satanist anarchist, be your sheriff candidate is the same system I'm attacking. I'm sorry, and I know it hurts to hear, but that system is a lie. The entire thing is a lie. It's broken from beginning to end, and my existence as your sheriff candidate is merely how this reality was thrown into your face. It was a great story because it was just awesome that she was able to win. I think that it just highlights what is broken with our electoral system, people, this, if we had in a true democracy requires an informed citizenry. So if you don't have informed citizens, you can't have a functioning democracy. You end up getting what we got here. And this is on the media by and large. It's not these people's fault, really, but it also, in a large part, it is on the folks that are just so tribalistic. Now, let me say, I'm saying this from my own personal experience. I'm guilty of having voted for candidates, local candidates in particular. I think that we do this, and it's something that I did for until 2018. So the first, say, at least like 10 years of my voting life, the down ballot candidates, I barely knew anything about them. I pretty much would know the presidential candidate, and then I didn't know much of anything about the down ballot candidates, and I would end up just voting for the person with the D next to their name, for the Democrat, right? So you just end up voting for a Democrat. And what that does is that reinforces their thinking that, listen, they're going to get our votes no matter what we do. And so what my new, methodology is that I don't vote for any candidate if I don't know something about you, if you didn't make contact with me somehow, if you didn't come and knock on my door, or I didn't have the time to do the research, I don't vote for the candidate. I don't vote on that spot on the ballot. Like, I just won't vote. I try to do research now, but I'll tell you, it's not the easiest thing. I'm a privileged person to be able to research down ballot local candidates, commissioner, county commissioner, and I'm learning, like, as I go, like, what the hell do these jobs even do? I was literally looking up as recently as this election in the 2020 primary. I had to Google, what the hell does this position even do? And I'm sure I voted for people in that position, the clerk's office and the town clerk and all these different, down ballot things. Some of them really important. Your district attorney is crucial. But most people don't know what they even do. And so folks end up voting for people that they're not even aware of who they're voting for. And I think Aria proved that here. And she really, I think that's great